This pistol just beat my Staccato XC at its own game. That's a fast gun, holy cow. That's the first bill drill attempt with this gun. That's sick. The XC is generally thought of as the king of soft shooting guns, but this one just said, nah. And that's a bit of a problem because they weigh the same, and generally guns that weigh the same and are of the same action shoot pretty much the same, which is why I say all 2011s are kind of samey once you get to a certain quality point. The gas scheme is similar, so they should shoot the same, but they don't. And with its island barrel, the XC should be softer. So I pulled this gun apart and tried to figure out what separated them, and here's what I found. This is the Phoenix Trinity Exo Pro. This one's an exclusive through Not Just Guns. It doesn't even have Phoenix Trinity's name on it, but it does have the little Not Just Guns swirl on it. It's the softest shooting 2011 of this style that I have shot. You can't really afford it, and I can't really afford it either. We'll get to that, but at the same time, it's not just marketing, the thing actually does shoot better. And it's a design choice that most builders tend to shy away from. So quick disclosure, this is not my gun. It's Mike, the Jefe over at Not Just Guns. It's his personal gun. He is a proper 2011 connoisseur, and he's got great taste, so thanks, Mike, for letting me use your gun. I used it in an appendix holster, so has my stomach sweat on it. But I was able to figure out why I think this gun shoots softer. We'll get there in about 4 minutes, but we'll go through kind of who Phoenix Trinity is, the feature set for this gun, and then the head-to-head shootout. So Phoenix Trinity started in 2011, not the gun, but the year. Phoenix Trinity initially really made their name pioneering the monolithic steel or aluminum grip. At the time, there was a lot of clamshell grips that were two-piece, and the one-piece grips would crack with enough use, but Phoenix Trinity was the ones who figured out the technique to cut grips that maintained their strength so that they could withstand major power factor loads. And like a lot of other 2011 builders, Phoenix Trinity got their start heavily focused on competition shooting, USPSA and 3-gun in particular. And their initial gun was called the Honcho. It featured a locking block design for the barrel and a breech block that allowed it to change calibers. So you could have a gun that would shoot an open gun in the morning and you could reconfigure it and shoot limited with the same gun in the afternoon in about a minute of effort. And then, kind of like Staccato, they kind of moved their focus off the competition guns and towards sort of the duty side when they reinvented their Honcho in the form of the H2, which the Exo Pro that you see here kind of falls into that category. Now keep that locking block in mind. We're gonna get there, I promise. So the Exo Pro wears a Hero aluminum grip. It is the same grip that I have on my Staccato XC, although my Staccato XC's version is much prettier. The spring is sprung properly light, and as a result, the safeties are shielded with a decent high ride safety that gives your support hand loads of space under the safety to get onto the gun. And then the finishes, they're some of my favorites on guns. That's a white DLC with a black DLC on the frame and barrel, then an anodized grip, and you got the white DLC on the trigger as well. Very sharp looking, sort of tuxedo looking gun, right up my alley. I love this kind of look on a pistol. The barrel is a monolithic compensator that is milled into the barrel. You cannot remove the compensator. It has 2 ports, with the front sight splitting the 2 ports so it acts as a sight block as well. And that's an interesting choice because a gun this expensive, almost nobody is going to shoot iron sights. The serrations are sort of opposite of what is traditionally cool. Like normally there's the aggressive little cuts, and these are not aggressive cuts. They're just like indentations all the way down the slide. But they provide great little bits of traction to operate the slide. They actually are pretty functional, and it creates kind of an interesting sort of shadow box effect, which I kind of dig. Because of the shielded safeties at the back, you're going to be using the optic as a slide racker because the shielded safeties sort of get in the way of grabbing the slide. That brings us to the biggest difference on the pistol, and that is going to be the barrel. There are no locking lugs on the barrel, and there is no link that kind of ties the barrel to the slide stop and makes the thing pivot. The hood of the barrel on the gun actually locks up with the slide, similar to how a Glock operates, but then it has the locking block that allows the barrel to drop out and recoil, so it's a very kind of smooth action. And when you shoot it, you can feel it. And I'll be honest, this locking block thing sounds like a gimmick, but shooting it back to back with my Staccato, it was apparent that this gun was just a little bit softer shooting in hand. The Staccato has a lot more pop. Both shoot really well. The Phoenix Trinity does shoot appreciably nicer. Gassier, jacketed hollow points. Let's see how the guns do with more gas. Zero is not quite where it needs to be, but that's silly. That gun gets even softer shooting. It's not a huge difference, but the Staccato is definitely more jumpy than the Phoenix Trinity. And I needed to understand why. So lining up the XO and XC when the flame first leaves the barrel, you can see that the XO travel actually goes a little bit further back than the Staccato. There's a name for that length of travel. It's called stroke length. The stroke length on the Staccato XC is a 5-inch stroke length or a government stroke length. You can look through the ejection port with the slide lock to the rear. If you can see the disconnector, you'll know that it's a government stroke length. If you can't see the disconnector, then it's a commander stroke length. So this gun has as much travel in the slide as a 5-inch gun, but this one has slightly even more, and that's because it has a barrel block and not a barrel link. What that means is that the slide is moving further to the rear, and it is allowing the spring to kind of soak up a little bit more of the recoil energy. And I guess maybe you're not feeling kind of the jerkiness as the thing moves back and forth with the barrel link. It's a weird sensation, but it feels like the XC is just a little bit more poppy, just a little bit more violent. It's not a huge difference. This is still one of the best shooting guns ever and one of my favorites, but this one's just a little bit softer shooting. So that locking block allows the action to be stroked a little bit longer, and that's probably the big difference on why the guns shoot differently. I used my super scientific putting lines on the guns on my footage and measured the amount of recoil climb in my grip. Yes, I get it, I should get a ransom rest, I know. But if you look at the muzzle climb on the Staccato, it's going up to 7.4 degrees, while the XO is only lifting about 6.7. I'm never letting my kids forget that meme. It was the dumbest meme. Now, the XC's number is still incredibly low. Like, that is very low across all pistols, full stop, but the XO is just even smaller, about 10% less. So now's the part when I make you sad when I've told you about this cool gun that doesn't lift very much in recoil. It's $6,500. I'm sad too. It hurt me to say that to you. There's no getting around it. These are luxury goods, but at least they had the good sense to not just make them pretty, but extra functional. Thanks to Mike at Not Just Guns for letting me borrow his blaster. If you want one of these style guns that's a little bit closer to earth that you can afford, maybe check this video out. And if you got something out of this video, you know what to do, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.